Vivi collectibles are continuing to drop in price, and so is the Ecomi token. At least the Ecomi token is moving mostly sideways, dipping a little bit from time to time and slowly eating up the massive buy wall that holds it at 0013, but there's not too much left over. And in the space, some questions pop up, like, is it still possible that Ecomi moves up to $1 in the next 10 years? Is it still possible that Vivi collectibles can give us a very good return on investment? Is it still possible that Bitcoin in itself is coming up during this year or even in the next year? Or do we face bigger problems and have to calculate differently? Hey everyone, it's the Patient Hodler coming at you with another video, and in this one we are going to cover the view of many people that have a rather short-term micro view, in my opinion, and react to little events and things that are happening right now, but should rather zoom a little bit more out to get less doubt. And for that purpose, we are going to look a little bit at the perspective that we have right now for Ecomi, Vivi and the broader markets, but also we are going to look at something that is very bullish and something that is very bright for the future. But before we start, please keep in mind that I'm a crypto and NFT investor and not your financial advisor. So please do your own research before you ape full degen into the Ecomi token and or the Vivi collectibles. Also, if you enjoy this type of content, please consider smashing up the like to a new all-time high, subscribe to my channel, tap the little bell to always get notified whenever I upload a video, and let me know in the comments below what you think about the macro perspective and the new developments or the future outlook for Ecomi and Vivi. Also, I want to quickly thank my rare hodlers, my Patreons, for always holding the line, for always supporting me on my journey. And especially, I want to welcome Top Dog as the newest member of this Rare Hodler family. So if you want to become a Rare Hodler as well, then you find the link in the description below to the Patreon, or you can become a channel member. But with that out of the way, let's get finally started. So we have all of these questions on the table about the potential returns on Ecomi and Vivi. And what I see a lot is that people look at very short-term performance on the charts of Ecomi, of Bitcoin, of crypto in general, but also on the Vivi prices for the collectibles. And I want to cut a long story very short. We need to zoom out a little bit, because on a 4-hour chart also a little pump in the overall market, a little relief rally, looks like a gigantic turnaround and something extremely bullish. But when you zoom out to a weekly chart, it almost didn't move, or it's not even visible. So in my opinion, it is very important to see the broader picture. And the broader picture is, in my opinion, and everything that I say in this video is highly debatable, so please go into the comments and debate it if you disagree, or let me know if you agree. But we have to see that we are in a very, very new market. Therefore, we are very early, and these are the pains that people have to suffer that are very early. Vivi is in the NFT and ultimately also in the augmented reality and virtual reality metaverse related space. This is a very small, recently born space that is embedded partially in the crypto market, and the crypto market in itself is a rather small space in the overall investment, stocks, commodities, gold, whatever market. And I think we have to see it in this perspective, because whenever the stock market does not so well, and this is currently the case, then also the crypto market is not doing so well. And this is obviously because of the global situation. So we have to see that the global situation is not that good or not that favorable. So the markets are not performing as good as they should be, and therefore the crypto market cannot perform as good as it should. And therefore Bitcoin doesn't inside of the crypto market, and therefore the altcoins don't, and therefore Ecomi and Vivi don't. Now why is that? Because people in harsh times draw their money out of risk on assets, and Bitcoin in the playbook of Wall Street investors and private investors is a risk on assets, so they seek to reduce their position. So also Ecomi, in comparison to Bitcoin, is an even more risk on asset, even riskier asset, and the Vivi collectibles, we don't even have to talk about this, is full of risks. So you are in a very early, very risky environment with your investment in a market that doesn't do so well. So this is the first, let's say, answer to everything. Now, what is happening exactly, and I want to really make this short, basically people draw out their money from these risk on assets and move them to something they perceive safe. Now, what do they perceive as safe? Most of the people, not the people in the crypto space, but even some of the people that were invested or are invested in the crypto space, that is fiat. People draw their money out and put this into fiat, and we see it in the DXY, which is the dollar compared to other currencies, is on a rise. Now you could say, why would you get it out into fiat if this is a guaranteed loss in value? Yes, it is, but the dollar is not losing as much as other currencies. So the euro is losing way more than the dollar currently. And the dollar is the world reserve currency, so everyone tries to flee into the world reserve currency because they see that this currency has the biggest chance of survival and will be widely accepted even in a crisis. Now, that is more or less how I perceive the current situation. So money is going out of the crypto market, and it doesn't seem that it's turning around quite yet. And the Fed, with yesterday's decision of 75 basis points rate hike, is strengthening and continuing to strengthen the dollar, while the European Central Bank is lagging behind. And that is exactly the biggest problem, because companies in Europe and in other parts of the world will also stack on US dollar and definitely not on Bitcoin at this moment. And that is the situation in which we find ourselves. So in my opinion, what is necessary is, as Ecomi and Vivi investors, we need to zoom out as well. Forget the 4-hour charts. Forget the Ecomi price action at this moment. Only if you seek to buy at lower prices, then you should take a look at it. Or if you're a trader, a very short-term trader, then you also should continue to look at it. But otherwise, if you invested for the long term and you want to see where it's going, you need to zoom a little bit out. And this is where I want to flip the switch of this video and turn a little bit more bullish and turn a little bit more positive. In the last days and weeks, I have been traveling. That is also the reason why you didn't see videos in the last 7 days from me. And at these trips, I have also been at a trade show that is transport and truck and logistics related. Interestingly, virtual reality and augmented reality played a bigger than expected role there, and I found the time to take a look at those. It was impressive because I didn't expect it. I will display some photos here. So what has been done basically is that they use augmented reality to bring potential customers and existing customers closer to the products and make it easier to understand what is new, because obviously if you imagine a vehicle and you say, yeah, this and that part inside of the vehicle that you cannot even see is new, is not as conclusive, let's say, for the customer than if you actually could see that piece that has been exchanged and that looks different. And that is exactly what they are doing. They give you the goggles and something to maneuver, and you can look inside of the car. You can switch colors, you can switch details. Not only cars, like for trucks, even for suppliers of different plastic pieces, this has been done. And I think that is amazing, and it also shows that what naysayers say about the trend of augmented reality, virtual reality and metaverse is also not true, that it's going to be something that will not stick around. Because we have heard that story so many times, and even before our, or at least my lifetime, we have documentation about people claiming that something will not come, and afterwards is one of the biggest drivers of innovation and one of the biggest technologies. We have heard it about the computer. I think there were some voices that said that we will only need 4 to 6 computers in the whole world, and that's it. And now we have billions of computers doing massive work. And there were people that claimed that the thing with the internet will probably not go so well or not be a big thing. We had people during the dot-com bubble that claimed that the internet is saturated and that there is nothing to get anymore. And we didn't even have Google, Snapchat, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, the whole social media aspect that really made the internet explode and got it into mainstream. We didn't have all that. Okay, but back to the topic. So augmented reality, virtual reality, metaverse. All this construct is coming to the business world. And what's interesting is they use it for customer relations, for sales, for immersive experience, and for learning. And about this topic, I read another article that said that people are learning 9 times faster with immersive virtual reality, augmented reality features than they would on a flat screen or even from a book or a paper. And that is obviously impressive, because if you can learn 9 times faster, either means that you have to study 9 times less time, or that you can outperform by 9x. That is crazy. And if we transfer this development into what we are interested in here with Ecomi and Vivi, we can say this basically means that it's 9 times more impressive to the brain, which is also important for the Disneys and Marvels of this world for entertainment, because the brain cannot differentiate on a superficial level between reality and that augmented reality. Obviously, your consciousness can do it, but your brain cannot. And so it has this learning experience, very in-depth, very immersive, that we want to have. And also for entertainment then, and for collecting, storytelling, it will also happen. And that is exactly why Disney chose to get into the business of augmented reality, virtual reality. We have seen some things from Disney already. We have seen now that they also presented short films and even immersive storytelling within movies already, which is very cool to see. And yes, in general, there are so many things that are popping up that we can see on Twitter, on YouTube, about augmented reality and virtual reality. There's avatars that can really move and look very realistic in accordance with the movement of the body, that is using the actual wearables that are influencing the movement of the virtual reality avatars. And then also we have seen that even some experience like how it is to be in a specific water. And by the way, this video that I will display here is powered by the Unreal Engine 5, and that is where David Yu hinted to on last DesignerCon, which is also very interesting. I will display this here as well. In general, if we consider that we can already influence digital objects with our hands, if we consider that digital objects already react to the outside world, to obstacles, to really their material obstacles, that these digital objects are not only an overlay, but basically an additional layer that can react to either people or objects, that is also very interesting. And what I have experienced at the trade show was only, let's say, 1% of what is probably technically possible, but has not been implemented for this experience and storytelling yet. However, I think it will come way faster than we think. And in that sense, we are, with Ecomi and Vivi, potentially very good positioned at the forefront of this innovation, of this trend. And as we can see, there are many things going on in the space at the moment. Very big parts of the industry are getting very active about it. That even Zuckerberg's private capital went down by $71 billion US, which is probably his part of the shares, because the shares went down significantly because of the announcement of the investment that they made into the metaverse. So this is no joke. They invest heavily, and there's also, for example, Microsoft with the Lens, and there is Apple going on with the Apple glasses, and there's MetaQuest. So the hardware is also being developed to extend this information, and ultimately these companies are working with billions of US dollars on making this experience more massive for other people. And ultimately this technology is being used also, for example, in the healthcare sector, as we have seen in this specific video by the Microsoft Lens, for removing certain layers of a human body to reveal in augmented reality what has to be done in a surgery or how the organs look. And that opens up the potential to trial and error without the consequences of failing. So you can train without having the negative effect of the failing itself. So as a doctor, obviously every surgery that goes wrong right now, where they try something out, has really massive consequences for the patients that can even result in the death of the patient. And in other terms, it would be waste of material. For example, if you are designing something as an engineer. Now, if we can get the whole technology as realistic as possible, then also we can save a lot of time, resources, we can make people even better at what they are doing, which will save them time and bring them more money. So I think overall the development is so interesting, and that's the reason why I keep on talking here. I've seen so many videos, read so many articles right now about this, and getting back, you see, we are on a very macro level about this trend, because this will take years, 1, 2, 3 years, but we will see these impacts. It will not be like this, someone saying, okay, we're ready, we have the metaverse, we have the best hardware and stuff like that. It will be creeping in, like the smartphone went from a external battery, super big and heavy phone, to a smartphone that combines a computer, a camera, an operating system, and with a touch screen and stuff like that. So I mean, if you see that development, you apply an even fast and accelerated development to the stuff around AR, VR, metaverse, then you should be pretty bullish about the very first innovators with big brands to back them up, like Ecomi and Vivi. So yeah, let me know in the comments below what you think about this. Is it total garbage, or do you somehow agree? And if you do so, let me also know in the comments below. And wherever you are on the world, have yourselves a great morning, evening, day, night, or afternoon, and see you in the next video.